Hello and welcome. We begin our meditation today, which is a meditation loosely based on Charlene Costanzo's gift, 12 Gifts of Healing. And we'll begin by taking deep breaths in and deep breaths out. We'll take deep breaths in and deep breaths out. And we continue to take deep breaths, allowing our bodies to relax, allowing our minds to open. Allowing our spirits to fill with light. We feel our firm connection to the earth, how we are cradled here and supported and provided for. We draw our awareness to the ground under our feet, to its solidity and safety. Now we turn our attention upwards to the sky, to the clouds, to the stars above us. We find ourselves reaching up and connecting with the spiritual side of things. Whether that be God or Buddha, the angels or spirit, or it's simply universal energy. We feel our connection to it. We become aware of how it resonates with something deep within us, filling us with positivity and love and light. Now we are grounded, we are connected, and we pull some of that great white light all around us. Almost like a huge cape, we put up a hood and wrap the cape around us. We find ourselves enfolded in light. We are surrounded on all sides, from all angles, completely encased in light. We know we are grounded. We are connected. We are protected. From this place of strength and serenity, we move on to our own sacred space. While here we settle down and begin for our journey into healing. As we calmly settle into our sacred space, we become aware of a river before us. It can be any size, in any setting. And we see that the river has some ice on it. It may be completely frozen over. Perhaps there are just chunks of ice here or there. We can still hear, perhaps faintly, the movement of the water. We can feel a hint of that coldness coming from the ice. We take some time to look on the river and the ice on it. As we do this, we become aware that these chunks of ice or pieces of ice on the river represent our fears. And as we focus on them, we allow the sunlight to begin to melt them, to begin to soften them. And let them melt away. We journey down this piece of the river near us, going from ice chunk to ice piece, examining any of these fears that we choose to release to the light today. If we come across a piece of ice, we may see some sort of symbol or writing on it. We may simply intuitively know that it represents a particular fear of ours. And we can open it up to the light, allowing this light to shine down on it, to soften these fears and let them melt away. We take a moment to clear this stretch of river in this manner. Once the river seems cleared of ice before us, we see that it seems like springtime around the river, and there are some dandelions nearby. We pick a few. They are all in their cottony, white phase, where the seeds can easily be blown away and dispersed. We find ourselves blowing on some of these dandelions, imagining each tiny seed to be a regret or resentment we harbor, and we allow it to simply be blown away, sent away on the breeze of spirit, released entirely from us. We may have quite a few dandelions to work through, or perhaps just one or two, but we find ourselves blowing these seeds and seeing the seeds, the regrets and resentments, blow entirely away. We find ourselves continuing our walk near the river, moving into a very tranquil forest. As we step into this forest, we see something that strikes us as truly wonderful, truly awe-inspiring. It may simply be a towering tree, or a gorgeous rock, a beautiful animal, anything at all, but there is something in this forest that brings wonder and appreciation to our hearts and souls. We spend some time in that place with that feeling now. Feeling awe-filled and tranquil, we find ourselves gazing upwards towards the sky. We see some fluffy clouds high above us. We find ourselves watching them, becoming aware of any shapes they seem to form. We allow ourselves the freedom to imagine whatever we want for our future, either our immediate future or a more distant one. And we find the clouds shaping that scene. We see in their fluffy shapes our imaginings taking form. As we continue to gaze upwards towards the sky, we are aware of the sun and how it is climbing higher and higher in the sky. How the light is growing, shining down on everything there is. As the light continues to shine, we feel it shining also on us. We feel hope rising higher and higher within us as the sun shines brighter and brighter and climbs to its pinnacle in the sky. We allow ourselves to remain open for a moment, to let that light, that hope, that grace sink into us. With that complete, we continue on our walk, moving now out of the forested setting and seeing the ocean before us. We see that there are waves on the ocean. They may be great crashing waves or tiny gentle ones, but we feel them rushing towards the shore. We allow these ocean waves to represent peace and to let these waves wash over us. As the waves wash over us over and over, we feel them with each wave bringing more peace and more serenity to us. Once we have felt the peace-filled cleansing of the waves, we see a shell near our feet. Maybe any size of shell, but we pick it up. We turn it over in our hands, taking note of the size, the shape, the color of this shell. We see if it is broken or whole. And we allow ourselves to bring the shell up to our ear and listen for the sound of the whirling air inside. As we listen to this shell, we know it is representing our own ability to access our own deep inner wisdom. And we listen. We listen for any whispers, any feelings, any images from our wise shell. Now that we have taken a moment to hear the wisdom being imparted from our shell, we return it to the sandy shore, and we continue the last bit of our walk, coming off the beach. And as we do this, we come across a flower. This flower, whatever type it may be, catches our eye. We bend down to look more closely at this flower. And as we watch, the petals blossom more and more fully, with greater and greater beauty. As the flower opens, so too do our own heart centers open, blossoming and growing with the light and love and peace that come to us from Spirit. We take some time now to really feel that growing love, that growing blossoming in our hearts, and to be at one with it. With our hearts filled with love, we give thanks to Spirit and to ourselves and our sacred space. We turn this loving light to any person or place or situation that we feel requires the light most right now. And we send some of this love, some of this light there, directing the energy perhaps with our hands, perhaps with our minds, perhaps with our hearts, letting it sink in to where it most needs to go. Once the sending of love and light is complete, we give thanks once more and find ourselves returning to our own sacred space, our own place of safety and peace and healing. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, and welcome back.